Hi, everyone. I'm Kim Dixon. I'm the health editor at Politico. We'd like to welcome you to our latest in a series of health events on antimicrobial resistance. The task force that Jim O'Neill is leading, that we'll hear from in a minute, has said that if nothing is done by 2050, deaths from AMR could surpass cancer and diabetes. Now we're going to hear from Jim O'Neill, who, as you probably know, is leading a UK review of the problem.
Hi, I'm Jim O'Neill. A lot of people often say to me, what is the single biggest challenge that AMR faces? If I had to pick two, one is obviously the absence of any new drugs. The second, which I'm going to concentrate on a bit more here, that is what I'd call the over-abuse, the use of antibiotics. We need to dramatically reduce what has become the modern dependency on antibiotics.
If AMR is a threat to the health and wealth of nations, so not just another big problem, then it's in the order of climate change. We really must put this issue far higher on the agenda of the global community and certainly Europe. And this will not be done by only focusing on the professionals, the specialists who work in this area.
There is also this big link between animal health and human health, and some antibiotic-resistant bacteria come from the farming sector, and that's why we need to address this. But I think it's much more urgent to develop new antibiotics for human use. We need also a more favorable environment for investment in new drugs, because we are already in a difficult situation with some of the resistance.
There's no effective business model to stimulate the broad-based research and early development and full development of new products. And we need to answer that. We absolutely need antibiotic stewardship, but then the question is, how do we address the delinkage of product use to revenue? So we need a different solution.
We ask also for a reduction strategy, so that the overall prescription of antibiotics in the European Union should be reduced.
The Netherlands, in a matter of a few years, have reduced the consumption of antibiotics by 60%. If this can be done in a few years by one country, it can be done by others too, and we should learn from each other.
Maybe we need to improve our awareness raising for ordinary citizens and also for patients. Is that expectations? You go to a doctor that you walk out with a prescription? Not necessarily. Maybe there are other ways of treatment.
The Commission, don't worry, is not going to propose legislation on prescriptive medicines. Absolutely not. But countries can do it, and they can follow the example of countries that have done it and have a staggeringly low level of human consumption, and that goes together with, of course, awareness raising on the population.
For us, it's the whole issue about monitoring occurrence and effects of pharmaceuticals and transparency of publishing the data. Because as it is at the moment, we don't even know how many medicines are on the market. And when you have environmental risk assessment, at the moment you have it for veterinary medicine, but for human medicine, it's not even in the discussion. So again, that should be harmonized.
I don't think we are in the business of forcing industry to do something. I think that the pharmaceutical industry has a reputational challenge. And there is no better place to show that than to engage on something like AMR, which is a public challenge that requires measures that are sometimes not the sort of conventional practices you would see from industry.